Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday. It's Shades of Bravo. I've got my friends here, Julie and Brandy, who really went all out with the pink theme. All out.
Mm-hmm.
You
All
guys.
out.
Pink shade.
Yep. We're shading and we're pinking. Okay. Pink. Got all pink.
You guys, I think this means that we're really friends because I think some people think that we couldn't really be friends because, like, you guys are so much cooler than me. But I think this means we're really
Well,
friends.
I wondered if your listeners care about Thursday Shades of Bravo, or your listeners actually like eye rolling and don't really like Bravo, which kind of makes them even cooler than us.
No. Well, a lot of listeners do the TLC stuff mostly.
Yeah.
But they love a little dip in on Bravo. And if I had to do like turn by turn recaps like Ben and Ronnie or something, I mean, it's way harder than TLC because on TLC you can divide everything by couples, right? Even if it's like MILF Manor, you can divide everything by couples and just write notes on the by couple. Whereas like on Bravo shows, you have to go like scene by scene, and that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
But luckily for you guys, I didn't take a note.
Good.
I didn't prepare.
We're gonna free ball it.
Free ball it. And we are going to talk about Vanderpump in the Valley. I want to know if you guys have any thoughts on Jersey. I've watched it, but I kind of feel like nothing's happening, and I'm like waiting for something to kick off. Thoughts
Yeah, I
on
mean,
Jersey?
I would say Margaret's trying to stir the shit and make a thing
Well, Jackie
for herself.
switched teams.
Right.
So basically what we're
weird.
seeing is the shift of teams because no one can be on an island.
Right.
So we have the Margaret Melissa faction, and then we have Teresa and Danielle. So all it is it's like alpha female dynamics is all. If you're into that nuance, which no one is, and everyone's exhausted by at this point. And it's also, unfortunately, dark family dynamics.
Very.
We're just looking at who's choosing sides of Teresa and Melissa. And you just hang on to the one scene where you're like, oh, okay, here's where Jackie switches.
Right.
Yeah.
I
don't get that. I don't get that Jackie thing because Teresa was one that was spreading all those rumors about her husband.
Maybe it'll
remember they had that fight?
Yes, but supposedly in the deep cut that came from Margaret. Because Margaret lived like when whoever went to the same gym as him. Supposedly the information that Jackie's husband was cheating came from Margaret, because we know Margaret revealed that Jen Aiden's husband was cheating.
Right.
This is where your listeners are like, fuck it, I want to go deal with Love After Lockup or whatever.
No, people are interested. But I am going to be talking to Margaret in a few weeks, and I think I'm going to ask her about that.
You should,
because that's the word on the street, was that Margaret is always the one, because she is truly the bone collector of Jersey. She knows she's the Yenta. She knows all the things
and likes to stir it up.
Yep.
And likes to drop a hint or drop a thing.
Character.
And then, and then be dramatic and get offended and you net my back and all the things.
Yeah.
She is, you're right. The bone collector.
Ask her to say the word on the street was that you were the one who knew about Jackie's husband.
Right.
As you were the one who revealed Jennifer Aiden's husband.
Right.
And she really did do that. I mean,
I think everybody knew about Jennifer Aiden's husband. Just it was like, if we don't say it on camera, then we can't talk about it, kind of a thing. And then she said it on camera.
Yeah,
on camera. That's where it counts, on camera.
Right.
And then Jennifer Aiden and they have to deal with it.
I'm surprised and not surprised about Jackie, because Jackie wants on the show. She, I think
she's friend of now, so she's like, what do I have to lose? I guess.
Yeah. She's trying to get back on. She's been expressing that she's scared of Margaret. She's better as an enemy. I don't know if it's Jen Fessler. I don't even know. There's too many Jens. There's too many Jackies. Too many Danielles.
Yeah.
Fucking, I can't keep them straight.
The thing was interesting about Danielle was like, she's like, yeah, I'm not talking to my dad anymore because of the way he handled the thing with my brother. I was like, wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. Like, take a page out of Teresa and Melissa's book. Don't go down this route. It's sad.
It's sad. And we also never really know what, I don't know what that means. We don't,
we were pretty big,
I don't know.
Danielle fans.
Love.
Even though she was
she's so Jersey.
Yeah. And she's pretty, and we liked her standoff with Jackie.
Yes.
But now she's over to the Margaret team.
Right.
So we're kind of just like, I don't know because I like
Rachel.
the little Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
We like
That-
Rachel too. It's hard. Yeah.
That is what you did.
Rachel.
Yes.
Rachel.
Yeah.
We like her
She's
too.
got-
I mean, we do.
Yeah. It's tough because, there's this. Well, the teams are split and it's a bummer. I mean, we love Teresa. We like Melissa too.
We love Melissa.
So it's just like, it's such a bummer that they all can't just figure out a way to get along. But at the same time, obviously, it makes for an exciting, I guess, season.
We did hang out with them all together. Joe, Teresa, and Melissa, and all the kids at Melissa and Joe's house. So we have the one very brief.
Was Juicy Joe in prison? Is that why he wasn't there?
Yes.
Oh.
And she had just gotten out. So she had just been released. So she was like buff, been massaged by lesbians.
So nice.
Yes.
Both of them, like, so welcoming and warm and all of it.
We met all of her kids and I was obsessed. I was like, oh my God, we're not getting to meet Gia. And she's like, I'm going to go get Gia from cheerleading practice. And she left the thing because we were doing like a shoot, but she left, went and picked up Gia and brought her back to meet us. And like poor Gia's like, oh God, okay. But she was so sweet. And teenagers are not her daughters and also Joe and Melissa's kids. They're such like wonderful, like beautiful kids. I mean, they just are all of them. It's weird. I don't know how they raise these kids like this, but we love them all. So it's weird. It's like we want to take sides and be annoyed and Joe's doing stand up or whatever fuck he's doing, but we're just like, okay. I mean, we like them in real life, and so
even Margaret, and I'll say it, even Margaret, who gets to be the scapegoat for anyone that I want to not like. I just then decide not to like Margaret because she can be so annoying. And I
love Margaret so much.
So, but I'll say this:
a lot of people do.
I know for a fact, then both of us would, if we met her in person, we would like her.
Yeah,
because there's no way that you couldn't like someone who has a good sense of humor, who likes to have fun, who is in the mix, and it's da-da-da-da. But for the show, as the character, it's like, I don't want to see someone do things against people that I like, but whatever. So
I understand that.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
When we met her at BravoCon, we met her twice, but the second time we were in one of those like VIP rooms or whatever, and we ended up talking to her forever. And I literally had to resist the urge to touch her bosom. I was like, what's going on? I was like, this is like, she's my age. I was like, how does your bosom look this way? There's not a wrinkle. It's perfect. And she was like, oh my gosh, let me give you my doctor. He's in Baltimore. He's right by you.
He's got to be older than you, Mary Payne.
I don't know.
I'm older than you.
I'm 55. So, I'm up there, guys.
I thought well, I think you look a lot. I mean, I don't even want to, I don't like conversations like that because it's gross. But I did think my impression was she was much older than you, but certainly I know the name of her doctor because I've Googled it extensively and ready to use it now. So she definitely has a great doctor. Yeah.
Oh my God. She looks amazing. Yeah. She looks incredible.
Yeah. Like I said, I had to resist the urge to fondle her inappropriately.
Well, we both have her doctor's number on the waiting list.
Okay. Well, guys, if you come to Baltimore for any surgery, let me know. I'll put you up. It's only an hour. It's only an hour for me.
Because that doctor should win awards.
For some reason I thought he was in Jersey, but he's
I guess in Baltimore.
This
was specifically for the boobs I was talking about. So maybe her face doctor.
The facelift. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that maybe that face doctor's in Jersey. Yeah.
And he does body stuff. He's good.
Good.
Yeah.
She looks flawless.
How far are you from Jersey?
Well, if I go on the train to New York, it's 3 hours. And that's on the train. So it's probably like a 5-hour drive. So it's probably like another 6. I was actually, you guys don't be jealous at the amazing interviews that I land, but I did just interview 2 of the stars of MILF Manor. Ooh. And Joey and Anthony, father-son duo. And you guys have got to just go. There's a reel on Instagram where you can get a taste of it. I logged on like this to see them. And they're just Sicilian. They live on the Jersey Shore. They run a pizza thing. And the one guy is like, when I tell you the tan. And he was just in a white shirt, unbuttoned with the tan. And the son was like in a white bathrobe, unbuttoned. They were on their deck sunning before work. And I was like, am I bothering you guys? Could we get some? The sound is amazing when you record outside by the water.
It's the best.
It was like,
it's the best.
It was like airplanes going by. And I was like, let's hold for the plane.
Wind.
But I was like, do you guys know the Jersey Housewives? And they're like, yeah, they come into our establishments. And yeah.
Wow.
It's all connected.
All
down
connected.
the shore. Down the shore, up the shore, whatever it is. But that was fun. Everybody go check that out if you're into MILF Manor. I got another star of MILF Manor coming on next week. That's right. Yes.
We did MILF Manor with you like one. I don't even know if we made a whole season.
I don't think so.
Because that thing is
second season is not mothers and sons, thank God. It is you get the MILFs there in the house. And then they brought in these like hot guys and you're like, okay, great. So they're not related. This is going to be fantastic. And then at the end of the day one, their dads came in.
So it's fathers and sons with the MILFs.
So it's 12 guys, 6 girls.
That's better.
Meaning the fathers and the sons are trying to date the MILFs?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's great. It's better like, than the moms being like, here's my son Joey's boxers.
So pretty bad.
Weird.
So weird.
Pretty bad.
I'm kind of into like everybody.
I can imagine it. Yeah. And I can imagine the sons and dads like, I'm going to show him how you treat a lady. I'm going to show him
we got a lot of that.
He's going to choose me because I've been around the block and I know what I'm not.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of talk about it's a lot of talk about the men having more experience and
I'm sure
yeah
and everybody's bronzer rubbing off on the white outfits, just everyone.
Not the Jersey guys. They came back naturally. He told me that, when they sequestered them before they start the show, that he would leave his like Motel 6 room and go sit in the parking lot with tinfoil. He's telling me this. He goes, I was, I didn't know what was going on up there in Canada where we had to go. Was there going to be sun? I had to get my tan on. I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tinfoil. So we're not here to talk about MILF Manor. So Jersey, what do you guys think about, speaking of Gia, what do you guys think about people are mad because like Gia keeps attending events and they're like, is she being paid? Is she like a junior housewife? Are they trying to test out a spinoff, which I did hear they were trying to do?
I'm supportive of whatever they want to do with her. She's great. I think Teresa,
she's so smart.
Smart. And even that whole family, if Teresa and those girls become the next Kardashians, then good. Though they're a wonderful family, those girls shouldn't be nothing but successful. Gia is in law school, going to law school so that she can help her own dad. Nothing gets me more besides dogs greeting someone coming home from the military, babies hearing or seeing for the first time, and then somebody be going into the law because they know that someone they love was like wrongly.
Grace?
Yes, fine. The twins, yes, fine. Even her, because her fiance was murdered, and she went and she became a lawyer. I love for that. So if they were to follow Gia around, doing the law,
Teresa and the daughters.
Teresa and the daughters, good too,
which we love
it. Or even if Gia got her own one season of Gia at law, I would be there too. Okay,
that's a great idea. You should pitch that, make a deck and pitch it.
Yeah. Okay.
I heard that they were doing a spinoff like in New York City, and it was going to be like Brooks Marks and Gia and some of the kids. And then at the last minute, they told the group, like the Brooks Marks, the Gia of it all, they told them they were bringing in Brielle Bierman and
gotta do it.
And somebody else that's not as
who would be so Brielle, who would be another one, you guys?
Okay, Brielle, Brooks, Gia. And then who else even is there?
It's got to be someone in Beverly Hills. Any of Kyle's kids?
Oh, no, it was somebody on a Brielle Bierman status. And
what about
I bet you it was Jacqueline's daughter.
Oh, Ashley.
Big lips.
Good one.
No, she's like married with a couple of kids.
Oh, so she's like 40 now.
These were like singles.
Okay.
And then
Brielle.
And then the other, like Brooks and Gia and all them, like refused to do it because they were like, we won't associate with them. Yeah.
Brooks won't associate with Brielle. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like Candy's daughter was on the A team.
Riley.
Yeah.
Oh, Riley. Oh,
Riley.
Also, there's the other daughter.
And there's Cynthia's daughter.
Cynthia's
like
daughter.
briefly a lesbian.
Yes,
I mean,
briefly a
all those
lesbian.
people are good. I say bring Brielle in. I mean,
Yeah, you have to.
Brielle's been there since she was a little girl. And that's the thing with Gia.
She needs the money.
And all of even Teresa's kids. It's like just watching them since they're little. I mean, we're obsessed. Like since they're little. Or, Heavenly, you probably don't watch Married to Medicine.
Oh yeah, her daughter. She'd be good.
Her daughter has been like looking like Shirley Temple and coming in, and she's sassy, and now she's like 20, and it's so
really
bizarre. Yeah, and she's beautiful. There's so many like of these kids that,
or even Simone's son
is the last. He's the one who should be not even be on it.
Yep,
motherfucker. We met you when you're 17 and you're now 20. Who cares? We don't care about you. We're talking about people we've known since they're 9.
Kids. Yeah,
and they're now 19.
Yep.
But talking about meeting people and them being nice, I met Brooks Marks and he was so nice.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
So nice.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
He was.
Heather says that Meredith was like stunning in person too, which was notable. We don't like Brooks Marks making fun of Jen Shah's vagina.
Nope, we don't.
Even though she defrauded elderly.
And she called him, whatever she called him on Twitter. But at the end of the day, you're going to look at a woman's vagina and say that you're grossed out.
Right.
You're going to get a clap back and you're going to slap back. So, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He's probably nice.
Yeah.
The show
but now, I think that's an amazing show. I would definitely.
I do too. I'll find that article and I'll send it to you, and we'll figure out who the other unwanted was.
You gotta let the kooks in too. I mean, you gotta let.
It's the straw that stirs the drink.
It's the straw that stirs the drink. You gotta let Brielle in. You gotta.
Oh my God! Hey, speaking of straw that stirs the drink, have you guys been seeing like the articles and stuff about Sonja's townhouse? It's like the Ingrid was sending me one the other day. She said this article is tragic. It is Grey Gardens. It is tragedy. And I was like, I just want her to, go to her family's horse farm in Virginia and live her best life. Her daughter, you guys, is on TikTok, and her daughter she's like, my mom gave me a key to this storage unit. She had no idea what was in there. She came out with like 7 Birkins. No lie, a suitcase full of Birkins. And she was like, this one's seen better days, but she said she was like, I gave her like the brown and the black one, but she said I could have the weird colors. So she's got like a green, a pink, like a crocodile. These are like hundreds of thousands of dollars of bags. And she's like, I'm going to take them to Hermes and see if they can put some more life in these gals.
I mean, her daughter
didn't even know.
Yeah.
Her mysterious, beautiful daughter could easily be on the show now.
She just graduated from Yale or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like super smart too.
Luann's got older kids.
I mean, Luann's daughter.
Luann's daughter or son.
She's got to be like 35, that kid.
I think that Sonja is also doing her tour.
Yes.
She just went to Boston.
Yes.
To do her
cabaret. Well, not a cabaret. Her improv comedy.
Improv.
Her improv comedy.
It's a yes and.
Yeah. It's a yes and you know what?
Okay.
Yes and. Yeah.
So
okay.
She was good though. Mary Payne.
Yeah, of course.
Just watched. I don't know why. The last 6 seasons of New York within 2 weeks.
Okay.
I don't know why, and we just relived the abrupt ending. No reunion.
Yeah.
I
forgot about that.
It was
abrupt ending, no reunion. You're right.
It's so jarring, and you're just like, and they are so deeply into their alcoholism.
Oh yeah.
Which of course, same, but it's crazy when you watch it like that. And we're talking from Bethany on. We watched 6 years.
Yep.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And just to be like, wow, that just stopped.
Yeah.
And there's no reunion, and the show is over and forever.
Just hit a wall. It's crazy.
Like, bye.
It was
Luann.
It was shocking. Shocking.
It was pretty crazy.
Do you have any thoughts on Bethany's latest thing that she's mad about? She's mad at Chanel. Like, okay, we got it. And it was like funny once, but my God, it's gone on for weeks. I was like, girl, she could really hang on to a joke.
Yeah, she can.
I mean, I don't know if she's waiting for I don't know what.
I
mean, what are you gonna do? She's.
We're here for it.
Yeah, I mean, after watching 6 years of New York and then listening to her podcast, and Bethany has really become a staple in our lives. And
I'm like listening to her book over and over and over.
Like, for all the good, the bad, and the ugly, like we're in for all of it now. We're in for all of it. So make 5,000 Chanel, big mistake, Pretty Woman.
Right.
Do your own. Now you're in the bathroom. Now you're outside your house. Now you're standing on the street. Now you're doing it again. Now you're doing
like,
a close
they weren't
up.
gonna let you in with popcorn.
Right.
I feel self-conscious walking in like with a coffee bean into like Zara. You have popcorn and you're gonna try to go into Chanel. They're like, you can't come in here with food.
Yeah, I mean, I do think you'd think one of the videos, and I say this with love and all due, and we again standing for Bethany. Really at one of the videos, in one of the 10 videos, 1.1 has to go. I had popcorn, and a lot of people aren't let in if they don't have an appointment. So I guess I can see their side a little, but
yes. Let me tell you where you don't have to have an appointment to go in Chanel is here at Caesars, because we walked around the shops today because we couldn't check into our room. So we walked around. You just walk right into all the stores. They don't care.
You can walk with a long special cup.
Yes.
With a straw.
Yes. My husband, we walked through that. And my husband goes, my husband doesn't drink. And he's like, what do you think's in there? I go, I don't know. Like pina coladas, margaritas. He's like, it's 9 a.m. I was like, don't judge.
It's Vegas.
I was like, you two would have done that in your past. So stop. He's like, that's true. And he's like, he's like, it seems like a lot of sugar. I'm like, oh,
yeah, whatever's in it is disgusting. That's for sure.
Yes.
And you had it from the night before, and you're like, I get $3 off.
Right. It's a sour apple frozen tiny. And I didn't fan. I want to come out. Like,
yeah, we walked down and tried to watch like the animatronic like gods and goddesses that dance around by an aquarium. We were like, let's go look at that. And it wasn't on because it's Wednesday. Like, it starts on Thursday. We're like,
I need to see that.
Yeah, I know. It's like some sort of like, it's right by the Cheesecake Factory. And then once we hit the Cheesecake Factory, we're like, we've hit the end of the shops. We have to turn around and go see if our room is ready.
You know what, Mary Payne? I think that statement, we've hit the Cheesecake Factory, we've hit the end, period.
Mm-hmm. Also, what about the couple going to Grateful Dead? Being like, can you believe they have that at 9 a.m.? Like, yes, you can. Because you guys are going to be rolling down with whippets. Fucking in tie-dye shirts.
Yeah.
And like Mary Payne's going to be in like pasties. Like, woo!
Yep.
I mean, Grateful Dead is like, all you need to say is to be like, we're adults into drugs is we love the Grateful Dead. Even if you don't actively, you're still just in the lifestyle.
Who's the lead singer for the Grateful Dead now? Is it anyone famous?
It's John Mayer.
Ooh.
So
that's good.
But Chris Robinson, I think, is the other one.
Yeah, Chris Robinson.
Right? You guys are doing like Dead & Co. or?
This is Dead & Co. Yeah, so it's John Mayer. And that's the last couple times we've seen him, it's been John Mayer. And yeah, it's great, but it's the Sphere. So it's all this experience. So like all the people around us that are going to be like tripping balls, we're going to be like, I hope you guys are enjoying that. We're just, I'm over here having like a Cosmo, like, woo! Yeah. My husband's having Diet Coke, getting real lit.
Yeah.
So I will tell you that we were, we finally got in a room, we were unpacking and stuff. And, my husband's like unpacking into the drawers. I was like, we're here for 3 days. I'm not doing that. I've literally got like tie-dye t-shirts and jean shorts. Like that's what I'm wearing. And we're unpacking. He goes, well, guess what I forgot? I was like, what? He's like, underwear. I was like, okay.
So he's free balling. Free balling.
He's getting underwear.
Yeah. He literally just was like, I don't know. I go back to those shops where we were earlier today. Surely.
Yes.
That's where we saw Candy.
Oh, that's right.
At BravoCon, we were like, take us to the Caesars thing. And then they took us to the mall. And then Candy Burris was like getting in her SUV with like an entourage. Yeah. We were like, look, we're at BravoCon. Like, no, you're at the mall. She's shopping. We weren't even there
shopping.
Yeah.
Cool that is so funny. Yeah. That's where we met in person at BravoCon. That was quite a day.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was quite a day. Lots of things happened that day. Okay, so let's quickly talk about Vanderpump. So we had the long-awaited episode 3 of the reunion where they didn't show them the end and they all got to watch it together, which I was just waiting for that very, very, very last thing for Sandoval to go. It's good for me. I was just waiting. Like the rest of it, I was like, all right. So Ariana hadn't watched it, so she doesn't know they've been talking shit about her, some of the time, which by the way irritates the shit out of me because I was like, she went to the beach, she went to the water party, like she went to everything, She showed up for everything. She said specifically, my boundary is I'm not talking to him, but I'm still showing up to work. So what's everybody so fucking mad about? Like, she showed up to work. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why Lala's so mad. I don't get why Sheener has decided to. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it too. She did show up. I mean, I think that maybe other people, I don't even know. Are other people mad? I guess Katie's mad because she went off and did other things and that affected their business. But it didn't ever seem that Katie was mad about her
and she
not talking to Tom because she's very supportive of that.
Yeah.
And then Lala's mad because of her own, in my opinion, of her own situation. Yeah. She got the deal with Randall Emmett, who is the biggest scumbag on the planet, and got with him, he cheated. By the way, you cheated too. I know. I'm just, for me, all their hypocrisy drives me insane, but fine, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She has her evolution. She's coming around. She's coming to Jesus. She's trying to work it out. She's doing it for the show. And I think that she feels that Ariana isn't showing up in the same way. I guess this is my I'm not saying I agree. I'm saying that I think that she feels she's speculating. She's putting out more of an effort of revealing her feelings and going through shit more than Ariana is. And now you go, she cried her eyes out. She yelled at Tom. They had the thing. She's showing up to the things. She has scene after scene where she's crying. I don't really know what more Ariana could do. And even at the end, she was like, I'm not going to talk to you. And she left, which, you know what?
Yeah.
That was still good TV when she stormed out.
Yeah.
And that's what she said.
And
I mean, she said, this is my boundary. And she said to the producer, I've said it all along. Like, it didn't change tonight just because you're trying to film a finale, and we didn't even get to see that scene of that crazy guy that like threw the chair and all that. They put that in like the clips on Discovery, or not Discovery, Peacock. And I was like, no, that would have been good TV. Why'd they take that out? Like, that was hilarious. Who's that guy? That was funny.
That was weird. Maybe because it just didn't make sense in the narrative. Why was it over there and then not in the thing? That was definitely
I don't know. And I hate to, like, when I watch something on Peacock and then I talk about it, people are like, that didn't happen. I was like, oh, I guess I'll watch it on Peacock because I like to hear the curse words.
Well,
hear the anger.
Yeah.
How many people do you think? I think at this point, the majority of people are watching it on Peacock. I don't know why. Yeah. I guess because
live TV is not a thing as it was.
Yeah. And like with the Miami reboot, I feel like Peacock has become, because of Bravo, so much more people are rewatching old. I just think a lot of people, maybe they wait till midnight and they just watch it on Peacock. I mean,
yeah. I have to tell you that I was going to, try to download Vanderpump in the Valley to rewatch on the plane so I could actually be prepared and take some notes. And it wasn't there. Now that was 6 a.m. my time, which is 3 a.m. in California.
Midnight.
No, so it was 3 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we were in the car driving and I was like, well, I'm going to download it in the car, and it wouldn't do. When I got on the plane, which was closer to 7 a.m., then it was there. I was like, well, fuck, now I can't do it because I'm on the plane. So
they're padding the numbers for cable then, because usually I've noticed like at 12:01 I can go on and
really
so they want the ratings, which makes sense, but
they want people to watch it on their DVR or whatever.
Yeah. They want people to watch it on to tape it or whatever. Well, I feel like, and I will say this, and I've said it from the beginning, and I'm going to stand by it. I felt like Bravo fucked up in karmically and in general by not paying Raquel what she deserved. Maybe her,
I agree with that,
as a human being, is better off for having done her treatment. She still could have done her treatment, gotten paid, and come back. And she might have gotten her treatment and come back and done the same thing she's doing now, which is saying, Tom groomed me, Tom used me. She could have been going through her whole thing now, which is not being with Tom, being mad at Tom, feeling victimized by him. But either way, Bravo owed, I feel, Raquel a paycheck. And if she had been there getting paid, unfortunately, it would have been really dark and hard to watch, but she would have been the punching bag for Lala and Sheena, which she was the year before with fucking Send It to Daryl and all that dumb crap. People, they all thrived when they had a place to put their frustration, and which was all really directed at Tom, because they never liked Tom Sandoval, none of them. And if they could direct it either to Raquel and Tom together or separately, but still at the same time, I think it would have been more healing to Ariana, because she ended up having to set these boundaries that no one was respecting.
But Raquel definitely couldn't have filmed. You know what I mean? It would have to be, she's going to film with Sheena, she's going to film with Lala, she's going to film with Schwartz. You know what I mean?
But they could have done all of that, and then the argument could have been about, are you being an apologist, and blah, 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 but it would have just dissipated. Instead, they all hyper focused on Ariana and her setting boundaries. They wouldn't have had a problem with her setting boundaries with Raquel or Tom if Raquel was there. And I think there would have been a lot more like meat on the storyline of Raquel and Tom being like, I want a relationship with her, and Raquel being like, I'm fucking fresh from my treatment. Who knows how it would have gone, but I think it was an error on their part, and they do it over and over and over and over again. And it's Bravo, and I won't say they don't. And it's all becomes down to money. And it's like, I didn't realize NBC Universal couldn't afford this lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But, so now she's off making money with Bethany on iHeart and getting paid, and Bravo's not getting, and it's imploding the show. And the trajectory and the closure and the thing of the show needed to happen, as hardcore as it would be. Even if Ariana every time was like, I'm filming with no one but Katie, we would still be happy to see her encapsulated with Katie and doing Sandwich Shop and doing Dancing with the Stars. We still would have gotten the same thing, but we've got some kind of, I feel like, abbreviated, like, emotional journey that somehow ends up with people who were friends fighting, and it sucks. I mean, I can't say for me personally, I'll say this one thing. It's like I'm back when Tristan cheated on Chloe, and I couldn't sleep at night for my own reasons. And I'd be like this, let me just think about how Khloe Kardashian was having a baby, and then he found out her baby's father and her, love of her life was cheating on her 2 days before her baby was born. Like, it's nothing that you're suffering from could ever feel like that. Now I'm doing a thing where I go like this. Well, I feel really like gross about what I said on our podcast about libertarians, but I'm just going to think about how Lala's horrified. And then I go, good night. Because she's got to be going through it, man. Like, she's like, at this point, the second coming of Sandoval online. She is
because people are so mad at her. Yeah, people are. Listen, I think that I think that her saying like she's Beyonce, she's God, and all that. I think that. I guess that was in my mind. I was like, are we watching the same show? Because she left, and that's what spurred this Lala to get so mad, because she left that party. I was like, she's allowed to leave the party. Like, she was like, I'm not going to talk to him. I can leave. She was there for the whole thing. She was there for Sheener's dance moves with the whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
And I think that it's pretty fair. I can imagine if it was, it just seemed fair to me that she could say, I'm not letting you have your moment, Tom. Fuck you. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like, she is not in a place to allow him to have anything at all.
Right.
And her point was so valid. They live in the same house. There were hundreds of times off camera he could have spoken to her, but she was like, he only wants to do it on camera.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was a great point. And I was like, okay, yeah. So
she was never more vindicated than when he said, "Oh, this is good for me." I mean, that was cringe upon cringe.
And it's just to speak on Tom Sandoval for a second. Every second or every moment where he may have turned a corner or try to redeem himself or show some humanity or, be whatever, he then fucks it up by doing
every time.
Like that. Every single time. And you want to go, God, man, like, this is the problem. You apparently are this thing that you didn't.
I know. I
that is a
agree.
bummer, I think.
You're laughing that this woman that you destroyed her. You didn't just destroy her entire life. It's like, anyone who's been cheated on or been lied to by like a loved one, a mother, sister, friend, whatever, to that point where you're just like blindsided. This person that you've been in a relationship with, like your best friend for 8 years, is walking out the door and you're like, it's almost like he was like laughing.
Right.
He was like, he had like joy that she was being the bitch, living in her bitch moment. And he's thinking, here's where the audience turns. And you just hear it in his voice. And it is so like, it's appalling.
He never, I think, he thinks he's being vindicated because he's part of his justification was that she was a bitch or that she, whatever he thinks, he justified the thing that he did in his head. Then he never, and he granted whatever through the show and is like, I'm sorry. And he's crying and he's this and he's that. But he, the whole time, couldn't let go of the fact that regardless of however she was, whatever kind of a bitch she was, however unhappy he was, that he wasn't justified in doing that. But he never got to that, I believe. I believe he still feels justified in doing what he did because of whatever she was doing. So that is why I believe he constantly steps in the shit and doesn't evolve and isn't going to evoke a redemption because he hasn't fully accepted what he did, his choice, and what it did to her.
Because like she said, he has not apologized for what he did. He's not apologized for what he did. Yeah.
He wants people to see. He can't stop until until people see how she was or what she did.
Keep saying she's lazy.
Right.
Continue to
he just won't stop.
Undermine, like it's not even undermining, it's insulting.
Yes.
And embarrassing her as a partner.
See, she's like that. That's why I did this. See, she's like that. Don't you see? But it's never, he's just always going to be.
And they want to talk about Lala. The narrative on Lala is, she's trying to produce the show. She's producing the show. She's producing the show. And it's like, I think it's him. It's always been him.
Yes.
She has said herself, and she's guilty of it too. And that's where I get where the rest of the cast comes from, where it's like, you two would go into your house and, decide what you were and weren't going to say about your own relationship.
Right.
And they would, I mean, we saw the year before when Raquel was still there, she was producing. She was like, Ariana didn't feel sorry for Katie that Raquel was getting with Tom Schwartz. For me, the revelation is Katie, because I constantly see her. And again, we hosted the Vanderpump Rules after show, and we're gonna put those on our Patreon this month.
Exciting.
Speaking of
all 12 of them, so that's Lala's first season. It's Brittany's first season, and then it's James's first season as like a full cast member. He was always just like a friend or boyfriend of Kristen, but so we've known them and we've known them for years and in many different iterations, and no one was married. But the level that she is, Katie, I guess because maybe she's not as vulnerable as other people, or I don't know what it is, but the level that her feelings are passed over for, let's take your fucking ex-husband. And it's not just her ex-husband of even as long as Brittany and Jax. I mean, it's like, she's been with this guy since like 12
years.
Yeah. It's bananas. And it's like, you've been broken up for less than a year. We all want Raquel to get with him. And that's Ariana doing that. That's Sheena doing that and laughing at her. And she's sitting there just like taking it. And I, being not ever making anyone apologize to her, never being a victim ever. And then they bring on Joe. It's like, Andy Cohen, quit trying to fucking make Joe happen.
Agree. My God. I love Katie. I've always loved Katie. Katie has never changed. She's always been the same. I've always loved Katie. I'd love to hear your opinion on Joe.
They bring her on and sit her down. And then like the group forces Katie to apologize as if she's bullied this woman, where it's like, I don't fucking like you. You went and moved in with my ex-husband for 12 years. down the hall from Kristen Doty. I already said you were a creep, and now I'm apologizing because I was mean to you at a party. Why are you on?
Yeah.
Not only why are you with my ex-husband, here's where it really you get into it. And this is where I think people do or don't check in. And it starts with Atlanta, and from there it bleeds out. You have to recognize you're like this. Why are you on my TV show? At the end of the day, we're doing a TV show here. Like, not only is this bitch sleeping with my ex, but now you're on my TV show? Get on out of here. Like, it would take a I don't even know, a saint to not be like mean to that woman. Get off of my workplace job.
Yeah.
To living with my ex. And yet they all sat around, Andy Cohen included, and like forced her to like apologize while Joe sat there manically like crying. And it's like, what are you even doing here, dude?
At the end, when they're doing like the cheers or whatever. Now, bringing out Anne was funny. There was no reason for Joe to come out. It was a reason for Allie to come out. She dates James. There's no reason at the end. They're all doing like cheers, everything. Joe comes out. It's like, put Joe back in the trailer. She's stop trying to make Joe happen.
Yeah.
Nobody wants Joe.
Anne can go back there too. Anne can go in the trailer.
You're not a fan. You're not a fan.
No, I'm the opposite of whatever a fan is for Anne.
Really?
Like,
you're
in the garbage, Anne. Sorry. No.
Really?
Take your
Anne was
grifting.
Universally loved.
Nope, don't love her. Don't love her. In fact, whatever the opposite is, take your fucking bullshit, your two-faced, you're grifting, you're on the show for a reason, you got your podcast, you're in Groundlings, you're trying it with everyone, your cutesy bullshit act is not, I'm not here for it at all.
Wow.
I think she is, I think she and Joe should hold hands and skip off into the sunset and start their own show, because that's really what they want.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't have Anne as a guest on this show.
No, you can have her on.
No,
We'd have, I mean, of course we talked to her, but it's just like, I see what you're doing. I see you.
Yeah.
And it isn't cute.
She's grabbing those 15 minutes and running with it, man.
And I think I think that I do not like that cute act. I don't like it. It's
okay. I got you.
I think it's absolutely put on.
Adorkable.
Her contrived. I think it's adorkable. It's contrived.
Ew.
I think it is.
Now
and then to be like, I can work for you now. It's like, shut the fuck. I can't with her.
All right, I'm sorry I brought up Anne. I'm sorry.
Let me just say regarding Anne, it does. In addition to adorkable being like a casting thing that we just hate, because neither one of us, we're more like angry, rage-filled psychos in casting. It does harken back to like the problem with Bravo, which is that they would rather pay hacks than pay Raquel. So they don't want to pay Joe, and they didn't pay Anne because they're thirst buckets. So they'll let the thirst buckets come on for free and then elevate them because, hey, maybe they'll go work as a stew who just got trained for 1 week, and maybe they'll go work on a boat on Below Deck. Then actually continue to pay like talent that their salaries raise. And I understand it gets expensive, but like these are people that we, know and love. I'm not talking about Raquel, but like even the people on Vanderpump, like even Vanderpump is becoming too expensive. And this is the fallacy of the Bravo shows. So they're always going to be like, let's elevate Anne, let's elevate Joe, let's all do shows where, boat waitresses come in for a week at a time and we don't have to pay them a lot. And that's where Bravo, where we show our ass and our baggage, because it's as fans, we want the stars. We want
I want the people that we've been following for 10 years. I don't.
And they live and eat and breathe on hypocrisy. And it isn't more clear than if you have the nanny controversy, which everyone's mad about. She took my nanny and the whole thing with Brittany and Jax and Lala and the thing. But then you have Anne, who's so sweet, and then blatantly says, I want to come work for you, leaves Tom, goes to work for Ariana,
does the interview in the house.
It does the interview in the house. Like, it is, to me, the angling and the it's just the hypocrisy of it. You can't choose something where you think, like Bravo and Andy Cohen, let's say that you need Katie to apologize to Joe, but then in the same situation you switch, or there's no consistency. They just thrive on hypocrisy. They're like Mitch McConnell.
For whoever knows who that is.
Yes. Yes,
I mean, you do Mary
I
Payne,
can't
but
take
God,
it. I can't. That's where I
hopefully
go
none of your
crazy.
listeners know.
That's where I go crazy. I can't take it. I hate it. I hate that.
It's very interesting because I know you guys took a Bravo break for several years. So what happened in those years? What did you guys talk about? What were you angry about besides politics?
It definitely was. Our lives were a lot less. We were probably angry at each other, but when
Definitely.
we were doing inner work. But I mean, we've been rewatching Dallas, which is arguably like the worst of all of the cities.
It can't be any worse than Dubai.
And well, we've never watched Dubai, but
I never watched Dubai.
We are constantly triggered, angry. We're not showing up well in our lives for having binged this. We're like, why are we doing this?
Well, it sounds like you're trying to solve these problems before bed. It sounds like you're going to bed and trying to figure out like, why was Cynthia's daughter gay for one season?
Yeah, exactly. Ugh.
Right. We are.
Last night,
she's still gay.
We were going
Why
to
is Cynthia friends with Jeff?
Last night I was going to watch The Valley. I had watched the Vanderpump Rules reunion, and then I was going to go right into The Valley. And after the reunion, I was laying in the bed like, I can't do it. So I needed to put on something with pirates and have it lull me to sleep, because I couldn't deal with looking at them again. Like I couldn't, because to me, The Valley and Vanderpump are like intertwined. So even though it's, so maybe
like,
you're
no more Jax. You can't even see like anyone on Vanderpump without just seeing Jax.
Yeah, of course. And it's gotten, and The Valley has gotten so dark and sad and depressing, and it's relationships that don't work, and it's people who aren't attracted to each other anymore. I'm like, I can't deal. I have to pirates now, and it's just like
dragons,
or Star
dragons,
Trek, anything where we're not talking about feelings or disappointments or cheating or sadness and it really, even Dallas, it's like the level of the
poop jokes on Dallas is just like, I can't. It's like you're two grown women making poop and fart jokes all the time, and it's not cute.
That was in the first season, but my God, did it really evolve by season 5? I mean, we're talking about
they become shows you can't watch with anyone else.
Yeah,
because it's like, God forbid I'm watching Dallas like with my mom, and I'm like, I don't know, it's too real, Mom. I got to do this alone. Like, The Valley is so good, and
it's so good,
intense,
so intense. But Vanderpump in the Valley, people, I really feel, and obviously these things that they're conquering are making people. I can only imagine if you're when you watch Vanderpump, or anyone who's watching it from Vanderpump to the Valley, like, it's so stressful. Like I don't feel as entertained as I normally would with even whatever. Like
New York.
New York.
Sonja drunk, her tooth falls out.
Luann's on Snatch Watch or whatever.
Fine, all of it. Like, hey, all of that. But now we're getting into stuff that is so real and so upsetting and so stressful and toxic, and people.
Let's talk about what's upsetting about the Valley. All right. So Janet and Jason, so far so good. So far they tried to tease us in the promos that they were going to have a big fight, but actually she was just mad because she cooked and the boys weren't eating her food. Like, it was nothing. And the Danny and Nia thing is interesting because Danny obviously has wanted to, and everybody has kind of said like, oh, he's such a great guy. They've got these kids and they're so like, they're very like church going. They met at church. Like, they're just these like upstanding couple, but woo boy, this week I was like, because she was like, you just said the fuck word to me on camera on national television.
She said F word. Yeah. So funny.
Yeah. She was like, you said it to me on television. I was like, yes.
They're definitely the most aware of the cameras and most planned out.
Yes.
Like, they make their plan befure they leave the room,
for sure,
before they get mic'd.
Yes.
So
when he said to her, you wanted to do this, when he said you wanted to do this, shit.
I do appreciate with them and with him getting drunk and expressing his feelings the way he did, that it is and we are people who don't have kids. So it is been very interesting, and whether it's moving or touching or I'm happy I don't have kids or whatever, that people, they are so stretched to the limit.
Yeah.
He is not, they don't sleep. He
right.
expressed and he was
And
trying
she's
and
depressed.
right. And she's got postpartum, and because they're a good couple. I mean, they're
love
really
them.
in love,
Yeah.
and at
Yeah.
least there's that. And
That shot of after they've gotten their little non-fight.
yeah,
whatever
non-fight.
that was.
Yeah.
Like, let's not fight before I go kill you downstairs in a vat of acid. Just get
Yes.
the fuck downstairs. Then he goes downstairs. The shot the next morning is like him drunkenly sleeping and her
Yes.
with those two babies.
Yes.
I rewound it 20 times. I
Yeah.
could put it in my phone and make it my screensaver. They're turned away from each other, but she has those two babies. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I love them as a couple. No matter how guarded and like sort of self-produced they are, they're still somehow managing to show how hard it is. Young babies.
Yes, and how I did appreciate, as annoying as I thought it was, because for me, the guys it's not, as dads, they're not sleeping, their support systems, all of that stuff. I don't want to invalidate the feeling of being drained and exhausted and just at your limit. But at the same time, when he was like crying about, you guys don't know what's going on, and I'm thinking to myself, that woman,
because he said putting babies on
tits, right? Like, I just am more biased to the woman's experience, the fact that they carried the baby, they have to have the physical situation with it, that they are the ones who have to deal with all of that. Like, there is and I get you should be able to express your feeling, but there is a point where I go, you need to get it together. And like,
we're not getting drunk and crying about putting babies on boobs.
Nope. When we can cry about other things.
Milking another living thing out
boobs,
of her tit.
right? Her boobs have milk in them. Okay. And that even is uncomfortable for her. So I know you're tired. Because the baby's a boo, 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 boo. But sir, this is sir.
Sleeping and she's like,
sir.
Milk off.
I mean, sir. Like, that's where I go, no, you just, no.
I had to block Julie from the scene. I watched the scene in my own house. I was like, I can't. She needs to be blocked for the night. Because I can't hear any feedback about these men.
The sitting around of being upset about, I get being tired, you're exhausted, all of it. But the men can't.
Like, they don't know what we do for them.
Oh yeah, we don't know. The woman's tits have milk in them. I don't care what you're doing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing. That's what you have to do. That's what you're supposed to do. That is your job. That's what you have to do. But and you get the support, go to therapy, be with your guy friends, whatever. But like, I just, the crying and the being upset about they don't know what we do for them. I was like, that's where I go. I can't. I guess I'm just really super lesbian that way.
That's fine.
Yes.
That's it.
I want to ask you about Jesse and Michelle, because, obviously we know that in real time, they each have, boyfriends, girlfriends now separately. But I got to tell you, as we've been going, I was like, oh, ayahuasca Jesse, I like him. After he came back from that ayahuasca trip, I was like, he's like a new person. He's giving out good advice. He's
well, she did say he goes to extreme, that's part of his personality.
Yeah.
That
I liked him from the beginning. He said in the very beginning, when he said, people say, oh, I get it, you're a douche who knows you're a douche. And I knew who he was. And he's the kind of person who like swirls the wine and does the whatever.
He brought his own coffee maker on this trip.
Yeah.
Because it had to be a certain kind of coffee maker.
I mean, okay.
For me, he brought a suitcase full of booze and said, I'm not believing when someone says all the booze and coffee will be provided. He knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then in some other interview, he said, I feel like why does my hair look like I have a headband on the whole time? I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I do think
it does look like he has a headband on all the time. Yes.
Understand how that occurred, that double situation. Nor does
I can
he.
tell you.
But I think he's good looking, and I think he's I like him, and I do truly believe that he was a shitty asshole father who was very judgmental to however she raised the daughter. Whatever she was doing, he was nitpicking, and why you wanted to. I think they had very different parenting styles, and I think she started to shut down. I mean, this is just from the outside looking in. So I won't judge that with her and her journey. And we met her and she was very, lovely. But I do think that when push came to shove that he was willing to try to make it work. So
yeah, but I think it was like too little too late. And
Yeah.
I feel for her in that too, because I feel like she's like, I know people are looking at me like, well, now he's come
Right.
back and you should make it work. And she's just like, when you've lost it, you've lost it. Like, I can't force myself to be attracted to him. And that was sad in that last episode. And he was like, we were having sex and it was like, she was like, closed her eyes, like wishing she was with somebody else.
How of all the years and episodes of reality TV that we have watched, and that guy who arguably himself would admit that he's very pretentious.
Yep.
Yes.
To not have any pretense about admitting that was so fucking intense. And then to have her go on that swing set or whatever, that probably wasn't even her, that was probably Janet. But whatever conversation she had with Brittany. Where she's saying, I'm not attracted to him anymore. And you see Brittany internalizing it.
Yes, of course.
Talking to Jax. I was like, I can't handle this. Where is Sonja Morgan? Like, I want out of here.
Yeah.
I don't need this realness. Like, and it will be gone by next year. None of this will be happening next year. They will all be self-regulated and self-produced. But like, wow, man, like Bravo, like, and this is in the fact that they had to try to sell this show for years. I've said it to Julie 100 times drunk. Like, it again, the other cornerstone of Bravo, besides not wanting to pay anyone, and then is somebody's bringing to you a brilliant idea, which should be obvious. Just like Jax coming and going, we've had a kid, Stassi's had a kid, and Lala and Sheena's had a kid. Let's do the Valley. And they're just like, it takes 3 years now. They got this cast together and took Alex Baskin and whatever. But like, it is like one of the, I mean, it has everything you could want. It's funny. Fucking hairdo next week says Janet's the Queen of England because she's dead to me. I'm like, that's going in the repertoire like immediately.
That was
dead to me.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
The fact that they denied the show for years upon years, and then it's unbelievable what they left on the floor. Like, man, they went like they were in the Olympics.
Yep. I mean,
Jax and Brittany that situation is sad. So you know that I went and I met up with Ryan Bailey when I was in LA. We went to Jax's bar. So it was, I didn't realize it was a Tuesday night when we went. That's the night the show airs. And so when you send an email to like get a reservation or whatever, and they wrote back like, yeah, it's like, $500 a table. I was like, say what? And they were like, oh, never mind. You're next to, so the opening night, it was $500 to sit at one of those picnic tables for the opening of the Valley, to sit in there and watch it with everybody. So we went on the episode 2, but Jax was there. Brittany was there. Now they were sitting in the couch area together, but definitely not talking. And Michelle was there. Kristen and Zach were there. We talked to them for a while, just like, because they know Ryan and came up and we're talking. But it was so interesting, like knowing what we know, knowing that at that time they were like separated.
Yeah.
And now watching it in real time, and the way he is speaking to her is so upsetting. And because we've seen it, we know Jax is Jax is Jax is Jax. She married him. She knew who she was marrying. But to see him speaking to her that way on camera, like, you want to have another kid, act like a mother. Why can't you be normal? All the other girls can drink. Why can't you drink? I mean, the way he's speaking to her is so awful that, like, even though we all love Jax because he's great TV and whatever, like, that is just so inexcusable.
Yeah.
And it's like a Sandoval thing. Like, will he ever get it? Will he ever get it?
Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever get it, but it is horrible to watch because we do like him and her.
We love him.
I think he's just, I think what we're watching, if we just remove knowing them personally out of it and just watching them as a couple and a man and a woman, or people who are together who fell in love, blah, 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 he's not in love with her anymore. And I don't believe, and I think that she started to she knew it, and she's known it for a long time. He doesn't have sex. They don't have sex. Shit, that pains her. That's the bane of her existence when you feel, that someone doesn't want you for whatever reason, crushing, and then he can't. And we've seen him try. He's tried. He's trying to show up at least for the show, but it's when it's done and you continue,
what's
trying.
Crazy is that if you put what's her name and the wine swirler, what are their names?
I can't even remember.
Jesse and Michelle.
Jesse.
That she wasn't having sex with him, and he was going to be willing to keep sitting there. Now, whether he's cheating or not, but he's willing to keep trying. It really says a lot about Brittany and her strength and her self-worth.
Yep.
To leave.
Yeah.
Because Jax didn't have the balls.
Nope.
Whether he was stepping out or not, he wasn't going to leave. And then it says a lot too about Michelle for being like, I'm not into this anymore. I need to go for her own self-worth. Like leaving, it's much easier to stay than it is to leave. Everybody knows that. And it's weird to watch that juxtaposition. It's crazy. They're so lucky. It's crazy. They never thought Janet would be pregnant. They've been pitching the show for 2 years. They never thought Janet would be pregnant, that the beauty queen would have the twins. Like nobody was probably even pregnant when they first pitched the show. And now, but I will say about Brittany and Jax, I love Brittany. I think she's like a phenomenal catch. Like I'll marry her in 2 seconds. Like motherfuckers in that kitchen. She wants to have sex. She always, let me just give you a hug. She always hugs everyone. She's so like comforting and nurturing and never wants anybody to be sad and doesn't. I mean, it's really, really hard to find a flaw in her, period, for me. Like she doesn't talk shit behind anyone's back. She means what she says and says what she means. And I will say though, that just in terms of Jax and the show, I think it took him, I think he was fired, and he's a compulsive liar and probably a cheater and whatever he is, and a narcissist, and we said with love, and we love him. But I think he was fired abruptly from Vanderpump. I do think he was the main guy in the group. I agree that he was. I think he was shocked and fucked and didn't have an income and was on Cameo every 2 seconds. And she had to become the breadwinner, and whatever became of their relationship, then they have this baby, and whatever's happening with their little son, which is really emotional for both of them. And he's a beautiful baby, and having kids is hard and complicated. Mary Payne. And it's like, I will say that he finally gets this show off the ground after working with her. I'm not saying other people didn't help him.
Yeah.
And then when she goes to film, nothing against her, I'm just simply saying, this is the person I said that I would marry tomorrow. She's the best catch on the planet. When she goes to film and she drinks something and becomes sick multiple times, the issue for him is that she can't film. He clearly doesn't care about spending time with her. Okay? I think he makes that very clear. And maybe with their baby, when he says be a mom and be normal and all that stuff, which is super uncalled for and mean, and there's no excuse, he's clicking into having his abandonment, and she's not here for me, and I need her, and I need her to film. It's all couples, and now my wife isn't here, and I'm not going to be kept on the show. I'm going to be fired. We can't film. What if we get kicked off the show? That's what I'm seeing, because I'm not going to disengage from knowing them and knowing what it is to film, and that's what I'm seeing. And there's no excuse for him to be mean to her, and she could fucking go sleep in a ditch the whole season and she'll be back season 2, because that's how much she's beloved. And him too, by the way. But they don't feel that because they were fired by Bravo and abandoned. And he's so scared. And I think he just wants her, like, if it takes for you to not drink, just to make sure you show up for every dumb game night and be like, we love anal sex, woo, or whatever the fuck the game is. That's what he wants her to do. So I just, I wish they would stay together. I really do. I think he might already have a girlfriend, and I hope she has a boyfriend. But I wish the best for them. I mean, we love them as a couple.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, and that's
I think they'll be better apart, because I think that she was exactly what somebody like Jax needed. Like somebody like that will just put up with him and is so nice and sees the best in him and all that. And he blew it, and he blew it. And
for whatever reason, another baby though. And I do wish she got her next baby.
Right.
She should have
right.
multiple kids, because and hopefully she will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think your point is so interesting. I hadn't thought about that what he's really mad about is, and it goes back to the Vanderpump thing too. People are mad at Ariana and they're not saying, because filming, like you're not filming Jersey too. Like we can't film together, but they can't say that. Like when they always say, last time when I saw you in New York, and they're saying, why don't you just say at the reunion?
Yep.
Right.
It's that. So you're right. When he's like going in the room going, why can't you be normal? Everybody else can drink. Well, okay, first of all, she's for all these years, we've seen her on TV. She's got all those gastric issues. She shouldn't be drinking. But, you know, okay, so she does. And then she gets a stomach ulcer and whatever. But I think that she is thriving on her own. And that's great. And you saw that girl that he's dating is that girl that used to be on Jeff's show. That OnlyFans model, Paige, whoever. She has that OnlyFans where she's the one that like calls out the guys in the dudes in the DMs or whatever. The guys that would send her the gross DMs.
Can't be regular Paige.
No, not Paige the waitress. This is Paige, the OnlyFans girl.
I don't think we knew that one.
No.
Yeah, she had an Instagram called like Dudes in the DMs where she would post the gross things that guys would send her. Like, I want to like, you know, I want to suck your toes and you know, whatever. And then she would write back like, oh, you sound so nice. You know, and she would, and then that's what she would post, like the things that she would write back. And these guys would be so stunned that this OnlyFans model was writing them back. Yeah. So that's who that is. She hasn't been on in years, but that's who that is. That's the girl.
I mean, Tom Schwartz is no shade, but I feel like his girlfriend kind of seems OnlyFansy too. I don't know though, but you know,
she's young, right?
Yeah. Probably just because she's young and beautiful. I'm like, oh, she looks like on OnlyFans. But they're gonna go through their, you know, go ahead, get used. Jax was very, very, very lucky that he met Brittany in Vegas and she ended up being and he has great taste, I'm sure, because he knew right away what a great catch she was. And he did fuck up. You're right, Mary Payne. I mean, he screwed it up and he deserves to see, and he will, through a long line of trash box whores that don't cook for him and don't take care of him. He wants to know what it feels to be abandoned.
Yeah.
He'll see now, you know, but I'm bummed. I thought they would work it out.
It is dark.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Well, we never know. Is a dark place.
It is. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I do want to say, or lastly about the Valley, what I really do appreciate about all of them putting out their relationships and lives and stuff is that it's the one show where I might like someone and then not like someone or be mad at the husbands or whatever. But I really do feel that it is like a very it's you just can see how everyone got there. Like I appreciate everyone's journey or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not
most like Married to Medicine in terms of men and women.
Yes.
You hate the husbands the least on Married to Medicine in the Valley.
Yes. Yeah.
The men are being cast sort of equally with them. Now we don't watch Summer House or any of those where there's like a lot of
I don't either.
Heavily male cast.
It's just
Did you ever watch Southern Charm?
Yes.
Yeah, but not I've never watched Summer House either. I think we're the only 3 people in the world.
Well, we might start it because supposedly this is the best season. Supposedly that's the best show on Bravo right now currently, which is saying a lot since the Valley's on. So I'm like, well, maybe we binge that because we're already deep in Dallas. And by that point, you're scraping the bottom of the trash can. We'll see.
That's true.
All right. Well, tell me about this putting your copyrighted pirated material on your Patreon.
We're going to try to
it.
The Vanderpump Rules after show.
Yep.
So we were, I think that was season 4. So so that was 2015 into 2016. What are we on now? Season 11?
11.
Yeah.
11.
So
Vanderpump Rules season 11. Yeah.
It was Lala's first season, Brittany's first season. They're both on the after show. I suppose it was Faith's first season, but I don't remember if we interviewed Faith.
We did not.
I don't think we did. But we had 12 episodes. And I think, were they half hour, an hour?
They were half hour.
Okay. So, like a lot of fun. It was James's first upgraded season as a real cast member. He'd been dating Kristen. So there was a lot of, and they had just broken up. Kristen had just fallen off of a curb and smashed her face.
Yep.
She came on with the sunglasses on, right?
Yes.
So
yeah,
it was. And Stassi was back. Stassi had taken like a break for a year with the boyfriend,
Patrick.
And so she was back and we were totally dying.
Lisa Vanderpump was on.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's on every year.
I remember I watched every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all
And now,
there.
and now I know you. I can't believe it.
So we're gonna in June, we're gonna post probably there's 12 episodes. We're gonna do 3 a week. So all for the month of June, and then we're just gonna wait. So join and we'll see how long we can keep them there.
Yep.
You know, and we're gonna start it even though it's a video. It's just gonna be a reward. So people can join at like the $4 a month, the lowest tier. Which is just the audio podcast that comes out every Wednesday, but we're going to give it as a reward to just all levels. So,
okay, because I'm on your video level.
Yeah.
Well, then get ready.
Thank you.
I'm ready. I don't always watch the video though, but sometimes you say something so funny, then I have to go and flip over to the video so I can see what you're talking about.
So you usually do audio.
Yeah.
Is that what you like?
Yeah.
So we have like $4 a month, which gives you one Patreon a week on Wednesdays, and then we have $8, which gives 3 audio a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the video. So some people really like the video.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like it because you do a lot of like screen sharing and you like it's like you live Google things. You're like, Google that right now. That's what I love. And you guys do a lot. You do your blind items, which I thoroughly enjoy. You guys said you were running out of blind items. I hope you've gotten some more.
Well, we definitely got a slew of people emailing in because it's people who email us the blind items, which is even better. So it's actual people's. I mean, you just can't believe the lives that people have lived. It's amazing. So cool.
Sometimes I'm screaming the answers. Sometimes I'm screaming.
Yeah, we figure that people must be screaming the answers. That's funny. Yeah.
I'm like, come on, it's got to be. It was Rosie O'Donnell was a thing recently, like in the last couple of weeks. I was like, it's got to be Rosie O'Donnell because you guys were going, no, she doesn't have.
That was
kids. And you were
Roseanne
like,
Barr.
Chelsea.
That was
Yeah,
Roseanne
you're like,
Barr.
Chelsea. It was like Chelsea has. I was like, Chelsea does not have 6 children. Oh my god.
Yep, that was Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, good one.
Go join the Patreon to find out what that blind was.
Yeah, there's some really good. Chevy Chase shows up a lot on the blind items.
Yeah, people.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is so weird how people have multiple run-ins with the same celebrity.
And usually all not good.
Not good. Find out which celebrity went boop to someone's front area after a photography shoot. Boop.
Yes, that. And then also the ones where people you're like, my friend banged this guy, and then
oh my god.
So much banging going on.
A lot of banging. There's a lot of banging. Yep.
Well, I've been a Patreon member for a very long time, and I say it's worth it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, we did talk about Vanderpump, y'all. We talked about Vanderpump. We talked about the Valley. We talked about Jersey. We talked about how we don't watch Summer House, and you even snuck in a little Married to Med. So I think we did it.
We did it.
Listen, go enjoy. Take pictures from inside the Sphere. Would love to see what's going on in there. Have a good amazing time with that tonight.
No, it's Thursday and Friday night, and then we get the
amazing
on Saturday.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see this Grateful Dead in the Sphere. It's incredible.
I know. I'm
Send
so
us pictures of people
excited
on drugs so we can get triggered and into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you've never been to a Dead show, you don't understand about the spinning girls and and you go to Shakedown Street where they sell all the stuff, and it's a whole. You could like come and just do the experience of it without even going to the shows. Like,
we want that.
We're gonna do that.
We want that.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna
tell us when they're there around your area. This isn't the last tour, is it?
Well, the last tour was the last tour that we just saw them last year, and then now this is the last tour.
So everything's gonna be
the Sphere. The Sphere. This is it. This is it. After the Sphere, it's over. But they just added a bunch of dates in August, so it's never over.
Well, anything in your area? I mean,
in the DC area,
we wouldn't want it without a guide, for God's sake. But
well, I wouldn't be a very good guide because you guys like to do drugs and I can't.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we already learned about Shakedown Street from you, which I've taken and told and repeated, like as if I'm an expert. So, you could just probably verbally guide us, and we could go.
Yeah. I will take some videos of Shakedown Street for you because you just won't believe the crazy hippies.
Okay, good.
It's incredible. All right, don't hang up. I'm going to hit end. But thank you guys very, very much. And everybody, make sure you follow Julie and Brandy. You find them on the Patreon. They don't do Facebook, but they both have social media
no, we have
that they rarely check.
Facebook is all things Julie and Brandy. We don't run it. But
that's what I meant. You don't run it, but people are on there loving you guys.
Yeah. And then we have a regular free podcast, Politics Liberal Dumb Gay Podcast. But just Google Julie Brandy Patreon if you want like fun stuff.
JulieandBrandy.com.
JulieandBrandy.com. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.